Hello everyone, this is Al, Red Sox fan, coming to you from Al Red Sox fan YouTube station, and we're going to continue with our second one-and-done playoff tournament. We're into the second round, and the first matchup we have in the second round is between the 8th-seeded 1985 Kansas City Royals against the number 5-seeded 1986 Boston Red Sox. The 85 Royals had a record of 91-71 in the World Series. The 86 Red Sox have a record of 95-66 and lose the series to the New York Mets. I will be playing as the number 5 Boston Red Sox. The computer will be playing as the number 8 Kansas City Royals. We are at Fenway Park. 61 degrees out. Clear skies, winds 3 miles per hour, out to left center field. For the visiting Kansas City Royals, leading off, center fielder Willie Wilson. Batting second, the left fielder Lonnie Smith. Batting third, the third baseman George Brett. Batting fourth, the designated hitter Hal McRae. Batting fifth, the second baseman Frank White. Batting sixth, playing first base, bye-bye, Steve Balboni. Batting seventh, the right fielder Motley. Batting eighth, the catcher Jim Sundberg. Batting ninth and playing shortstop Buddy Biancalana. On the mound for Kansas City, Charlie Leibrandt. Leibrandt had a record of 17 wins, 9 losses, earned run average 2.69. For the hometown Boston Red Sox, leading off, playing third base, Wade Boggs. Batting second, the second baseman Marty Barrett. Batting third, Hall of Famer Jim Rice, playing left field. Batting fourth, God rest his soul, the designated hitter Don Baylor. Batting fifth, the center fielder Tony Armas. Batting sixth, first baseman Bill Buckner. Batting seventh, the right fielder Dwight Evans. Batting eighth, doing the catching, Rich Gedman from Worcester, Massachusetts. Batting ninth, the shortstop Spike Owens. On the mound for the Boston Red Sox of 1986, Bruce Hurst. 13 wins, 8 losses, 2.99 earned run average, batting average against 256. Left-handers batted at a 256 clip, and right-handers did the same. So Willie Wilson is at the plate. Let me just quickly say hello to Stratomatic Delaware. Chris from Stratomatic Delaware, thank you very much. And also, What's Blazing in Sports, T-Dub. Remember to check out both those channels. That's Stratomatic Delaware for wonderful retro card and dice baseball replays using Stratomatic, and also What's Blazing in Sports with T-Dub, excellent boxing channel. Hope both of you gentlemen are doing well. Health and happiness to both your families. Alright, Willie Wilson comes to the plate. He's batting 200 in this retro replay one-and-done playoff tournament. No home runs, no RBIs. In actuality, Willie Wilson batted 278 in 1985. 4 home runs and 43 runs driven in. He scored 87 runs. Off left-handed pitching, 293. Willie Wilson's a switch hitter. He'll be batting right-handed. He's an excellent bunt man. 8 out of 10 for the bunting. He will play our corners in. So Boggs in at third, Buckner in at first. Hurst gets the sign from Rich Gedman. Here's the pitch. And he strikes out Willie Wilson for out number 1. Coming to the plate now, Lonnie Smith, Royals left fielder, currently batting 400 in this one-and-done playoff tournament. No homers, no RBIs. In actuality, 257, 6 home runs, 41 runs driven in, 77 runs scored. in 1985. Lefty-righty matchup for Hurst. Hurst toes the rubber, looks in at Gedman. Here's the pitch to Smith. And he strikes out Lonnie Smith! Red Sox throw the ball around the infield. Fenway faithful love it. 2 outs, no one on. Here comes George Brett, Kansas City Royals Hall of Fame third baseman. .750 batting average, 1 home run, 2 runs driven in the retro replay. In actuality, .335, 30 home runs, 112 runs driven in, 108 runs scored. Looking to extend the inning, and lefty-lefty matchup. Brett hit .330 off left-handed pitching. Gedman sets the target. Here's the pitch by Hurst. Grounder to Spike Owens, over to Bill Buckner. 1, 2, 3 go the Royals. We go to the bottom of the first. Kansas City didn't score. Red Sox coming up. 2 up for Boston. Boggs, Barrett, and Rice. So Charlie Leibrandt's on the mound, as I stated before. 17 wins, 9 losses, 2.69 earned run average. Struck out 108, walked 68, batting average against .248. Left-handers batted .250 off of him, right-handers .247, so he was fairly consistent with that. You have Sundberg behind the plate, who's a very good defensive catcher. Brett at third, outstanding. Bianca defensively very good at short, as is White. And at second, Balboni average at first. So up the middle, Kansas City's very strong with Buddy Bianca, Biancalana, and Frank White. In left field, you have Lonnie Smith, not much range with an average arm. Willie Wilson can chase those balls down with the best of them with a very good arm. And in right field, you have Motley, poor range with a below average arm. Alright, here comes Wade Boggs. Boggs batting .666, no home runs, 1 RBI. In actuality, in 1986, he batted .357, 8 home runs, 71 runs driven in, scored 107 runs. And off left-handed pitching, .352. Leibrandt rocks and fires. Here's the pitch to Boggs. And Boggs slaps that ball to Biancalana, who makes a good strong throw. And they just get Boggs at first for out number 1. Nice play by Buddy Biancalana going to the hole. 1 away, Marty Barrett steps to the plate, batting .500, no home runs, 1 run driven in. .286 in actuality, 4 home runs, 60 runs driven in, 94 runs scored, .322 off left-handed pitching. So lefty-righty matchup for Charlie Leibrandt. Sundberg sets the target. Here's the pitch to Barrett. Barrett, a slow roller to White, who throws to Balboni, and they just get him. So 2 up, 2 down. And here comes Jim Rice, Hall of Famer. Red Sox left fielder batting .500. No home runs, 1 RBI. In actuality, in 1986, .324, 20 home runs and 110 runs driven in to go along with 98 runs. .351 off left-handed pitching. Very dangerous batter here for Charlie Leibrandt and the Kansas City Royals. Rice digs in. He's looking for a pitch he can grip and rip. Leibrandt gets the sign from Sundberg. Here's the pitch to Rice. Rice sends that ball out to Willie Wilson, who makes the running catch right up against the wall in left center field. Inning over. We go to the top of the second, no score. 2 up for Kansas City. McRae, White, and Balboni. Cal McRae, 0 for 6 so far in this retro replay 1 and done playoff tournament. In actuality, .259, 14 home runs, 70 RBIs, 41 runs scored, .233 off left-handed pitching. Gedman flashes the signs. Hurst nods his head. Here's the pitch to McRae. That ball goes out to Armas in shallow left center. He makes the catch for out number 1. So you have Rich Gedman behind the plate, a very good defensive catcher. Boggs above average at third. Owens pretty good at short. Marty Barrett average at second. Buckner, even with his gimpy legs, very good defensively at first. Rice in left field. 7 out of 10 range, average arm. Arm is 5 out of 10 range, 7 arm. And the best outfielder of the lot, Dwight Evans, who should be in the Hall of Fame, 9 out of 10 range, 10 out of 10 arm. So with 1 out, here comes Frank White to the plate. White batting 800. No homers, no runs batted in. In actuality, 249, 22 round tripper, 69 runs driven in, 62 runs scored. Off left-handed pitching, 247. Lefty-righty matchup for Bruce Hurst. He looks in at Gedman. He gets the sign. Here's the pitch to Frank White. And that ball is a single into right field. White's on at first, 6 out of 10 base runner. Bill Buckner to hold him on. And here comes Steve Bye-Bye Balboni. He's 0 for 5 in this retro replay tournament, 1 and done style. 243 in actuality. 36 home runs, 88 runs driven in, 74 runs scored. Off left-handed pitching, 220. Balboni could drive a ball out of Fenway. Hurst does have to take his power and be very careful with it. 1 out, 1 on. Red Sox looking to turn 2. Hurst throws to first. White's back as Buckner slaps that tag. Buckner throws the ball back to Hurst. Balboni steps back to the batter's box. We're going to try a pitch around here. Let's see if we can get Balboni to beat this ball into the ground. Hurst is ready. Here's the pitch to Balboni. Pitch around. He pops it up. Boggs calls for it at third. Out number 2. Balboni not known for the best of eyes. So 2 outs. White still at first, being held on by Bill Buckner. And here comes Darryl Motley. Motley's 0 for 1 in this playoff tournament, getting a start here today. In actuality, 222, 17 home runs, 49 runs batted in, 45 runs scored, 255 off left-handed pitching. That's why he is inserted into the lineup to face the lefty Bruce Hurst. Hurst toes the rubber, looks in at Gedman. He sets and delivers to Motley. It's grounded foul past Boggs down the left field line. The count's now no balls, 2 strikes. Hurst looks over at White. Buckner holding him on at first. Looks in at Gedman. Nods his head. Here's the pitch to Motley. And he strikes him outside. Retired. We go to the bottom of the second. Still scoreless. 2 up for the Red Sox. Baylor, Armas, and Buckner. Don Baylor, 250 batting average, no home runs, no RBIs in the retro playoff tournament, 1 and done. In actuality, 238, 31 round trippers, 94 runs driven in, 93 runs scored, 230 off left-handed pitching. Baylor crowds that plate. Leibrandt looks in at Sundberg, nods his head. Here's the pitch to Don Baylor. And Baylor works a walk. Lead-off runner on. Baylor, 5 out of 10 base running ability. Steve Balboni will hold him on. Here comes Tony Armas. Armas, 500. 1 home run, 2 RBIs in this 1 and done tournament. In actuality, 264, 11 home runs, 58 runs driven in, 40 runs scored, 289 off left-handed pitching. Sundberg sets the target. Here's the pitch to Tony Armas. Armas grounds that ball to Balboni. He flips to Leibrandt, covering the bag for out number 1. Don Baylor advances to second. So Baylor's in scoring position with 1 out. And here comes the left-handed batting first baseman, Bill Buckner. Buckner batting 600. No home runs, 5 runs driven in. In actuality, 267. 18 home runs, 102 runs driven in, 73 runs scored. But he's only batting 218 off left-handed pitching. Lefty-lefty matchup. Sundberg flashes the signs. Leibrandt nods his head. The windup and the pitch to Bill Buckner. And Buckner singles to left. Baylor goes to third. He has a 57% chance of scoring. Baylor's a 5 out of 10 base running ability. Lonnie Smith, 5 out of 10 arm. We shall hold him. So the Red Sox will have runners on the corners. And here comes Dwight Evans as the organist plays charge. Evans had a tough first game of his one-and-done tournament. He was 0 for 6. In actuality, 259, 26 round trippers, 97 runs driven in, 86 runs scored, 228 off left-handed pitching. Royals want to turn 2 with Biancalana and White up the middle. Evans, in worst case scenario, wants to drive a ball deep enough to the outfield to score Baylor from third. Leibrandt's ready. He rocks and fires to Evans. Evans grounds that ball foul past George Brett. The count now goes 2 balls, 2 strikes. Baylor at third, Buckner at first. Evans digs in. Leibrandt's ready. Here's the pitch. And that ball's grounded to Buddy Biancalana. Baylor will race home. Royals will try to turn 2. Biancalana to White onto Balboni in time. Double play out of the inning. So Charlie Leibrandt pitches around the jam. We go to the top of the third, still scoreless. The Red Sox squander a golden opportunity. 2 up for the Royals. Sundberg, Biancalana, and Wilson. Jim Sundberg batting .333, no home runs, 1 RBI. In actuality, 245, 10 home runs, 35 runs driven in. Off left-handed pitching, 217. The windup and the pitch by Bruce Hurst. And that ball goes to shallow left center, and there's Armas once again. He makes a fantastic running catch. 1 up, 1 down. And here comes the light-hitting shortstop Buddy Biancalana. He did not play in Game 1 of the one-and-done tournament. In actuality, he hit .188, 1 home run, and 6 runs driven in, 21 runs scored. But against left-handed pitching, .259. Hurst gets the sign from Gedman. Here's the pitch to Biancalana. And he strikes Buddy out for the second out here at the top of the third. Top of the order now, Willie Wilson. Wilson 0 for 1. He struck out in the first inning. Hurst works quickly. Here's the pitch to Willie Wilson. Slow ground ball to Marty Barrett. He throws over to Buckner. Inning over. Once again, 1, 2, 3 go the Royals. We go to the bottom of the third. No score. 2 up for the Red Sox. Rich Gedman, Spike Owens, and the top of the order, Wade Boggs. The Red Sox catcher Rich Gedman from Worcester, Massachusetts, batting .400. No home runs, 1 run driven in. In actuality, .258, 16 home runs, 65 runs driven in, 49 runs scored. Struggled against left-handed pitching, though, .186. He's going to take strike 1. Leibrandt in there with the slider. So no balls, 1 strike. Gedman awaits the Charlie Leibrandt offering. Sundberg sets the target. Here's the pitch. Gedman sends that ball deep to right field. Racing back as Motley reaches up and makes the catch just in front of the wall, robbing Gedman of extra bases. So there's 1 out. Here comes the number 9 batter, shortstop Spike Owen. Owen was 0 for 4 in Game 1 of the tournament. In actuality, he also batted below .200, 183. 1 home run, 10 RBIs, and 21 runs driven in. So both shortstops for each team pretty solid defensively, but very poor at the bat. Owen's going to attempt a bunt hit. Here's the pitch by Charlie Leibrandt. Owen squares the bunt, and they throw down, but it's a bad throw by Sundberg, and Spike Owen will scamper to second base. So the bunt attempt catches the Royals off guard. Sundberg makes the throwing error, Owens is in scoring position with 1 out in the top of the order. Wade Boggs. Boggs 0 for 1 today. RBI opportunity for the man who loved to eat chicken. Grounded to short in the first inning. Leibrandt looks in at Sundberg. Gets the sign. Here's the pitch to Boggs. And Boggs works a walk. So it's first and second with 1 out. Marty Barrett comes to the plate. 10 out of 10 bunter, 8 out of 10 hit and run. Spike Owen at second, 7 out of 10 running ability. Boggs, 4 out of 10. Balboni playing behind him. Barrett's 0 for 1 today. Grounded to second in the first inning. We're going to play aggressively here. We're going to play hit and run with runners at first and second. The windup and the pitch by Charlie Leibrandt. And Barrett grounds to Biancalana, whose only play is the first. For out number 2, Owens advances to third, Boggs to second, and in comes Jim Rice. Rice is 0 for 1. He flew to deep left center in the first. Willie Wilson made one heck of a catch, retiring Jim Rice. And here we go. Rice digs in. 2 outs, 2 on. Bottom of the third, no score here at Fenway. Round 2 of this one-and-done playoff tournament. Charlie Leibrandt gets the sign. He rocks and fires to Rice. And Rice rips that ball in the left field. And 2 runs will score on the Jim Rice 2-out single, 2-0 Boston. Clutch hit by Jim Rice. He'll be held on at first by Steve Balboni. Don Baylor now steps to the plate. Baylor walked his first time up. Leibrandt looks over at Balboni, holding Rice on. Now in at Sundberg. He's ready. Here's the pitch to Baylor. Baylor singles. And going first to third is Jim Rice. Very good base running there by Jim Rice. And I'd like to say hello to D. Scott Howard in the chat. How's everything going, my friend? So 2 outs, runners on the corners. Here comes Tony Armas looking to increase this Red Sox lead. Armas 0 for 1. Sundberg goes out to have a word with Charlie Leibrandt. Now goes back behind the plate. Squats down, sets the target. Here's the pitch to Tony Armas. Armas pops it up. Balboni calls for it. He makes the catch at first base. Inning over, but the Red Sox strike first. And they score 2 runs on the 2-out single by Jim Rice. We go to the top of the 4th. Boston 2, Kansas City nothing. Due up for the Royals. Smith, Brett, and McRae to face Bruce Hurst. Lonnie Smith 0 for 1. Struck out his first time up. Gedman sets the target. Here's the pitch to Smith. Grounder back to Hurst. He fires to Buckner. 1 up, 1 down. George Brett steps to the plate. He's 0 for 1. Brett grounded to Owen in the first inning. Brett digs in. Gedman goes through the signs. Hurst nods his head. Here's the pitch to Brett. That ball goes to shallow right field. Evans comes racing in. He makes the catch. 2 up, 2 down. 2-0 Boston here in the top of the 4th. Here comes Hal McRae. He's 0 for 1. Flew to left center in the second inning. Hurst works quickly. Here's the pitch to McRae. McRae pops that ball up. Owens on the outfield grass at short. Makes the catch. Inning over. To the applause of the Red Sox fans here at Fenway. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Boston 2, Kansas City nothing. Due up for the Red Sox. Buckner, Evans, and Gedman. Bill Buckner 1 for 1. He singled in the second. Leibrandt looks in at Sundberg. Sundberg sets the target. Here's the pitch to Billy Buckner. And Buckner sends that ball deep to center field, but Willie Wilson races to the warning track and makes the catch. 1 down. Here comes the Red Sox right fielder, Dwight Evans. He's 0 for 1 today. Ground into a double play in the second inning. Leibrandt nods his head. Here's the pitch to Evans. Evans sends that ball to That's a pop-up. And Brett goes to the outfield grass, makes the catch for out number 2. Here comes the Red Sox catcher Rich Gedman looking to extend the inning. He's 0 for 1. Gedman flew to deep right in the 3rd inning. Gedman did have 16 home runs in 1986. A lefty-lefty matchup. Leibrandt's ready. Here's the pitch to Rich Gedman. And he strikes him out. Inning over. We go to the top of the 5th. Boston 2, Kansas City nothing. Let me go to chat where we have Alvin Leslie. How you doing, my friend? He says Leibrandt versus Hurst. 2 fine left-handers from the 80s. Absolutely. This is a really good pitching matchup. Bruce Hurst and the Red Sox so far getting the best of it as they're up 2-0. 2 up here in the top of the 5th for Kansas City. White, Balboni, and Motley. Frank White's 1 for 1. He singled in the 2nd inning. Gedman sets the target. Here's the pitch to White. And that ball goes up the middle. And Frank White's 2 for 2. Buckner to hold him on. And here comes Steve Bye-Bye Balboni. He represents the tying run. Balboni had 36 home runs in 1985. Hurst throws over to first. Buckner slaps the tag on the diving White, but he's safe. That was close. Hurst looks over at Buckner. Now looks in at Gedman. Nods his head. Here's the pitch to Balboni. And he strikes him out. Froze him with that fastball on the inside corner. Balboni couldn't pull the trigger. So there's 1 out. White at first, and here comes Darryl Motley. Motley had 17 home runs in 85. He's 0 for 1 today. Struck out in the 2nd. Red Sox looking to turn 2 with Owen and Barrett up the middle. The windup and the pitch by Bruce Hurst. That's popped up. Gedman throws his mask off. He makes the catch for out number 2. He looks down to first base, but Frank White is easily back. Hello, Tribes fan. How are you, my friend? Hope all is well. Tribes fan says, final from Chicago, Indians 11, White Sox 2, Indians set team record, 15th straight win. Congratulations to Tribes fan and the Cleveland Indians and Terry Francona. So there's 2 outs here. White at first, Buckner still holding him on. Here comes the Kansas City catcher, Jim Sundberg. He's 0 for 1 today. He represents the tying run at the plate. Sundberg back in the 3rd. Flew out to shallow left center. Hurst toes the rubber, looks in at Gedman. Here's the pitch to Sundberg. And that ball goes out to Jim Rice. He makes the running catch towards the line, inning over. We go to the bottom of the 5th. 2-0 Red Sox. 2 up for Boston. The number 9 batter, Spike Owen, then the top of the order, Wade Boggs and Marty Barrett. If anyone gets on, Jim Rice. Spike Owen's 0 for 1 today. He reached on the throwing error by Jim Sundberg when he attempted the bunt base hit that caught the Royals off guard in the 3rd inning, starting off the rally where the Red Sox would score 2 with 2 outs on the Jim Rice single. Windup and the pitch by Charlie Leibrandt. Owens grounds to Balboni, who takes it to the bag himself for out number 1. Here comes Wade Boggs. He's 0 for 1 today. Grounded out in the 1st and walked in the 3rd inning. Sundberg sets the target. Here's the pitch by Leibrandt. Boggs swings, and that's a single to right field. 1-out single for Wade Boggs. Steve Balboni will hold him on at first base. Boggs 4 out of 10 base running ability. Here comes Marty Barrett, Red Sox second baseman. He's 0 for 2 today. Leibrandt looks in at Sundberg, nods his head. Here's the pitch to Barrett. Barrett singles to left center field. Boggs will be held at second. So 2 on, 1 out, and here comes Jim Rice. Rice 1 for 2. Flew out deep to left center in the first, and then had a 2-out single in the third, knocking in Owens and Boggs to give the Red Sox a 2-0 lead. Chance to do it once more. 1 out, 2 on. Here's the pitch to Rice. Rice grounds that ball to White, flips Biancalana on to Balboni. Double play, inning over, threat averted for Kansas City. We go to the top of the 6th. Boston 2, Kansas City nothing. Due up for the 1985 Kansas City Royals, Buddy Biancalana. Then the top of the order, Willie Wilson and Lonnie Smith. If anyone gets on, George Brett. Biancalana 0 for 1. Struck out his first time up. Here's the pitch by Hurst. He rips a line drive to Marty Barrett, who makes the leaping catch, robbing Biancalana of a hit. We go to the top of the order with 1 out. Willie Wilson steps to the plate. He's 0 for 2. Red Sox will actually pull their corners in. So Boggs in at third, Buckner in at first. Willie Wilson, a 8 out of 10 bunter. 1 out, no one on. Here's the pitch to Wilson. That ball goes out to Jim Rice. He makes the catch for out number 2. Rice didn't even have to move on that fly ball. So 2 outs, no one on. Lonnie Smith steps to the plate. Lonnie Smith 0 for 2. Hurst works quickly. Here's the pitch. Smith swings and lines out to Boggs. Inning over. Smith hit that one on the nose, but right at Boggs at third. We go to the bottom of the 6th. The 1986 Red Sox 2, the 1985 Kansas City Royals nothing in this one-and-done playoff tournament. Second round action here at Fenway Park. Due up for the Red Sox, Baylor, Armas, and Buckner to face Charlie Leibrandt. Leibrandt is now up to 77 pitches. He's good for 120. Baylor's 1 for 1. He walked in the second and singled in the third. Baylor digs in, crowding that plate as normal. Here's the pitch by Charlie Leibrandt. Baylor swings, sends that ball out to Wilson in left center field. He makes the catch. 1 up, 1 down. Tony Armas steps to the plate. Red Sox center fielder 0 for 2. Sundberg flashes the sign. Leibrandt nods his head. Sundberg sets the target. Here's the pitch to Armas. Armas singles left center field. No, that ball gets down in between Wilson and Lonnie Smith. Armas chugs his way all the way to third, and they're going to give him a triple on that. Great hustle by Tony Armas. Red Sox can increase their lead. Armas is 90 feet away with 1 out. Bill Buckner comes to the plate. Billy Buck 1 for 2. Singled in the second, then flew out to deep center in the fourth. Red Sox fans would take a deep fly ball, which would score Tony Armas. Armas 5 out of 10 base runner at third base. Lefty-lefty matchup here. Leibrandt stares in at Sundberg. Here's the pitch to Buckner. And Buckner strikes out. Big swing and a miss. Fastball by him. So with 2 outs, it's going to take a wild pitch, a pass ball, an error, or a base hit. Here comes Dwight Evans. Evans is 0 for 2. Evans had 26 round trippers in 1986 to go along with 97 RBIs. Sundberg sets the target. Here's the pitch to Dewey Evans. And he sends that ball up in the air to Brett at third. He calls for it, makes the catch. Inning over. The Red Sox squander a one-out triple. We go to the top of the seventh, 2-0 Boston. Let me quickly go to the chat. Tribes fan says, final from the north side of Chicago in Simulation Land, game 16. The Ferguson-Jenkins replay goes to the Reds, 3-0. Gary Nolan outduels Jenkins, who gets the loss. Alvin Leslie says, hey Strat, I was trying to download Pure Sim Baseball, but I was having trouble with it. This is my first time trying to download it. That's strange. It should download pretty easy. Did you get an error message out of curiosity? Alright, so here comes George Brett. He'll be followed by Hal McRae and Frank White. Brett's 0 for 2 today. Lefty-lefty matchup. Hurst kicks and fires. Brett swings, and he lines out to Barrett, who catches it at his shoe tips. And they're saying he caught it in the air, out number 1. Now bring up Hal McRae. Kansas City designated hitter. He's 0 for 2. Hurst works quickly. Here's the pitch to McRae. It's a pop-up to Boggs at third. He makes the catch. 2 up, 2 down. And here comes Frank White. He has been a thorn in Bruce Hurst's side. He's 2 for 2 today. He has singled in the second and the fifth. Would love to get on to bring the tying run to the plate, Steve Balboni. The windup and the pitch by Bruce Hurst. White swings, and he lines out to Spike Owens, inning over. We go to the bottom of the seventh. The 1986 Boston Red Sox holding on to a 2-0 lead over the 85 Kansas City Royals. Due up for Boston, Rich Gedman, Spike Owens, in the top of the order, Wade Boggs. Gedman's 0 for 2. Charlie Leibrandt's now up to 90 pitches. He's good for 120. He rocks and fires to Gedman. And he hits him. He came too far inside. Gedman reaches on the hit by pitch. Balboni to hold Gedman on, even though he's 2 out of 10 base running ability. And here comes Spike Owens. He's 0 for 2. 4 out of 10 bunter. 7 out of 10 hit and run, but he does hit 286 off left-handed pitching. It's 0 for 2. Reached on the throwing error on the bunt attempt in the third and grounded to first in the fifth. We're going to play hit and run. Here's the pitch by Leibrandt. Hit and run on. Owens misses the pitch, but Sundberg throws the ball into center field. Another throwing error by Sundberg. Rich Gedman goes all the way to third. No outs. Represents a huge insurance run. So Sundberg's throwing arm has been awful behind the plate for the Kansas City Royals. Spike Owens steps back into the batter's box. The count's 2 balls, 1 strike. The windup and the pitch by Leibrandt. Owens swings, grounds it to Biancalana, makes the diving stop. Gedman races towards home. Biancalana throws the Balboni at first, and they get Spike Owens, but Owens gets the RBI. It's now 3-0 Boston. Biancalana did rob Spike of a hit, though. Top of the order. 1 out. Wade Boggs, 1 for 2. Grounded out in the first, walked in the third, and singled in the fifth. Lefty-lefty matchup. Sundberg sets the target. Here's the pitch to Boggs. Boggs sends that ball deep to left field. Lonnie Smith races back, reaches up, makes the catch. 2 outs, no one on. Marty Barrett steps to plate. He's 1 for 3. Grounded out in the first. Grounded out in the third and singled in the fifth. The ground out in the third was huge, though. It was a hit and run. It acted pretty much like a bunt. He was able to move Owens to third and Boggs to second with 2 outs, and Jim Rice singled them in. So here in the bottom of the 7th with 2 outs. Barrett's looking to extend the inning. Get Jim Rice in at bat. Leibrandt looks in at Sundberg. He's ready. Here's the pitch to Barrett. And Barrett goes down on strikes. Inning over. We go to the top of the 8th. The 1986 Red Sox 3. The 1985 Kansas City Royals nothing. Bruce Hurst has been cruising along, a 2-hit shutout. He's up to 85 pitches. He's good for 135. Here comes Steve. Bye-bye Balboni. He's 0 for 2. Popped to third in the 2nd, struck out in the 5th. The windup and the pitch by Bruce Hurst. And Balboni goes down on strikes once again for out number 1. Hurst is in a zone tonight here at Fenway. Here comes Darryl Motley. He's 0 for 2. Struck out in the 2nd, popped out to the catcher in the 5th. Hurst looks in at Gedman, nods his head. Here's the pitch to Motley. That ball goes deep to Rice in left field. He races back to the track, reaches up before the wall, makes the catch. So there's 2 outs, no one on, and here comes the catcher, Jim Sundberg, who has had a dreadful day behind the plate defensively. He has 2 throwing errors that are responsible for all 3 Red Sox runs. He has flown out twice. Hurst rocks and fires to Sundberg. And he strikes him outside, retired. We go to the bottom of the 8th. The 1986 Red Sox 3, the 1985 Royals goose egg. 2 up for the Red Sox. Rice, Baylor, and Armas. I was just reading the chat. Alvin Leslie is having some difficulty downloading Pure Sim Baseball, which is a free game and a lot of fun. He says, I think it's the way I'm filing it because I've never downloaded anything before. Well, I would try it again and just follow the directions. I believe it should go in your C drive or wherever you put it, but I know mine's in my C drive, I believe. And then each and every time it's going to ask you, do you want to have this change your computer? You just click yes, because all the files it looks like are saved online. Alright, so Jim Rice comes to plate. He's 1 for 3. His 1 hit came in the 3rd with 2 outs. He knocked in Owens and Boggs with a 2-out single. Before that, he flew out. After that, he grounded into a double play. Charlie Leibrandt now up to 110 pitches, still out on the mound. He's good for 120. Royals get some bullpen action going. No tomorrow for the team that loses. He's ready. Here's the pitch to Rice. And Rice singles, no doubles, the left center field. As that ball gets between Smith and Wilson, they chase it down and throw it back in, but it's too late. Rice stands at second with a leadoff double. As Stradimer Delaware gives Alvin some advice, and it's good advice. He says, just let it install itself and take the desktop icon so you do not have to look for it to play it. Excellent advice there, Stratomatic Delaware. Leibrandt now up to 111 pitches, and here comes Don Baylor. He's 1 for 2. Walked in the 2nd, singled in the 3rd, and fly to left center in the 6th. Baylor had 31 home runs in '86. Here's the pitch by Leibrandt. Baylor sends that ball deep to Wilson. He makes the catch. Deep center field. Rice goes back to tag up. He has a 74% chance of tagging. We're going to send him. Here's a throw by Wilson, and Rice slides into 3rd base safely. As the Red Sox fans are sensing it. They're sensing the semifinals. They're up 3-0 here in round 2 against the '85 Royals. Rice represents a huge insurance run at third. And here comes Tony Armas. He's 1 for 3. Grounded out in the second, popped out in the third, and then tripled in the sixth, but was stranded there. Chance to knock in Rice. Sundberg sets the target. Here's the pitch to Armas. And that ball's a single up the middle. 4-0 Red Sox. On the one-out single by Tony Armas, who's at first, and Steve Balboni is holding him on. Here comes Billy Buckner. Buckner's 1 for 3. Single in the second, flew out deep in the fourth, and struck out in the sixth. 10 out of 10 hit and run. Red Sox playing hit and run. Here's the pitch by Leibrandt. And Buckner grounds to Biancalana, whose only play is the first for out number 2. Armas advances to second. He's in scoring position with 2 outs for Dwight Evans. Evans struggles in this one-and-done tournament continues. He's 0 for 9, 0 for 3 today. Leibrandt up to 116 in pitches, good for 120. Royals have action in their bullpen. Here's the pitch to Evans. And he sends that ball out to Lonnie Smith, who makes the catch in front of the wall in left inning over. Evans is now 0 for 10 in 2 games. We go to the top of the ninth. The 1986 Red Sox 4. The 1985 Kansas City Royals nothing. The Red Sox 3 outs away from advancing to the one-and-done playoff American League bracket semifinal. And due up for the Royals, the number 9 batter, Buddy Biancalana, and then the top of the order, Wilson and Smith. Biancalana is 0 for 2 today. He's inserted in this lineup because he hit 259 off left-handed pitching. Hurst looking for the complete game shutout. Right now he's pitched 8 innings, no runs, and only 2 hits. Here's the pitch to Biancalana. And he strikes him out! Red Sox 2 outs away from advancing. Hurst up to 100 pitches. Looking to close this out. Willie Wilson steps to the plate. Switch hitter batting right-handed off the left-handed throwing Hurst. He's 0 for 3. Hurst works quickly. Here's the pitch to Wilson. And he strikes Willie Wilson out! Hurst and the Red Sox 1 out away from advancing to the semifinals in the American League bracket. It's up to Lonnie Smith to keep hope alive for the 1985 Kansas City Royals. Smith 0 for 3. Hurst toes the rubber, looks in at Gedman. Gedman sets the target, the windup, and the pitch to Smith. Grounded to Owens. He fires to Buckner. Ball game over. The Red Sox win 4-0 and will advance to the American League bracket semifinals. What a pitching performance by Bruce Hurst. So let's go to the box score. Box score will be up shortly. And before we go through the box score quickly, I'd like to say thank you to Alvin Leslie, Stratomatic Delaware. So check out Stratomatic Delaware with Chris, wonderful channel. He has a new dead ball league he's playing with Stratomatic Baseball, dice and cards. I'd also like to say thank you to Tribes Fan. Thank you to D. Scott Howard. And also What's Blazing in Sports with T-Dub. Thank you very much. Check out What's Blazing in Sports, a wonderful boxing channel. T-Dub does a great job interacting with the chat. Very knowledgeable boxing fan. And just a fine person, as well as Chris from Stratomatic Delaware. I only follow and watch people of good character on YouTube, and Not many of those people on YouTube. Well, there are, but there's also a lot of other type of people on YouTube who shock value. So, anyhow, thank you very much, gentlemen, that you take time out in your life to spend time with me. Greatly appreciate it. Let's move on to the box score. Let's go to the pitching first. Player of the game, Bruce Hurst. 9 innings, 2 hits, no runs, no walks, and he struck out 9. Outstanding. He gets the win. Charlie Leibrandt takes the loss. 8 innings, 8 hits, 4 runs. Only 2 were earned. No home runs, 2 walks. He struck out 3. Jim Sundberg was god-awful behind the plate. 2 throwing errors helped the Red Sox score. 2 out of their 4 runs. Here we move over to batting. Kansas City, a lot of offers. And the only person, if you took Frank White out of the lineup, Bruce Hurst would have threw a no-hitter. White, 2 for 3, and that's it. Everyone else, 0 for everything. Willie Wilson struck out twice. Lonnie Smith once. Steve Balboni struck out twice. Motley once. Sundberg once. And Buddy Biancalana twice. In total, the Royals were up 29 times. They only had those 2 Frank White hits. No runs. They struck out 9 times. Their batting average, .243. For the victorious 1986 Boston Red Sox, who are moving to the semifinals in the American League bracket in this one-and-done tournament, Wade Boggs, 1 for 3 with a run scored. He walked once. Marty Barrett, 1 for 4. He struck out once. Jim Rice, 2 for 4 with a run scored and 2 RBIs. With a double honorable mention for player of the game. Actually, we're going to give him co-player of the game. He knocked in 2 runs. Don Baylor, 1 for 3. Tony Armas, 2 for 4 with an RBI. Bill Buckner, 1 for 4 with a strikeout. Evans, tough start. 2 games in this tournament. He's 0 for 10. And he is now 0 for 4. He was 0 for 4 today, 0 for 10 in the 2 games in the tournament. Rich Gedman, 0 for 2 with a run scored. He was hit by a pitch, and he struck out once. Spike Owens, 0 for 3 with a run scored and an RBI. In total, the Red Sox, 31 at-bats, 4 runs, 8 hits, 4 RBIs, 2 walks, struck out 3 times, 1 double, 1 triple. Team batting average, .319. Let's move to the recap. Let me quickly go to the chat. Stratomatic Delaware. Chris says, one more thing, Al. I uploaded a game for you. Hope you like it. Oh, I shall check it out. Is it a new dead ball? I shall check it out. All right, let's go to the recap, and we shall call it a stream. So, Boston scored first in the third. They sent 7 batters to the plate, scoring 2 runs on 2 hits, a walk, and an error. Jim Rice singled, scoring 2. The Red Sox took a 2-0 lead. Red Sox scored once again in the 7th. They scored 1 run on an error. Spike Owens hit a grounder, scored the runner from third. Boston went up 3-0. They would score their last run in the 8th on 2 hits. Tony Armas singled, scoring Rice, 4-0, and that's how it ended. Jim Sundberg, not good. 2 errors, both throwing errors. Bruce Hurst pitched 9 innings and picked up the win. He only gave up 2 hits, struck out 9. He gets the win. Charlie Leibrandt, 8 innings, he gets the loss. So the Red Sox advance, the Royals go home. In this one-and-done tournament, anyone who's played on these teams is available. There's no limit on roster. The other thing is you usually use your starting pitcher once, and that's about it. If you're lucky, you can bring a starter back in the finals, possibly out of the bullpen or on short rest. So, this is Al, Red Sox fan, saying thank you very much for watching. The Red Sox are the first team to advance to the semifinals in the American League bracket. There are 3 more quarterfinal games to come. I'll get them done over this weekend. Once again, thank you very much. And remember to check out Chris in his channel, Stratomatic Delaware. Great card and dice channel using Stratomatic Baseball. That's Stratomatic Delaware with Chris. And also check out T-Dub and What's Blazing in Sports, a wonderful boxing channel. That's T-Dub, and his channel is called What's Blazing in Sports. So to everyone else in the chat, thank you very much. Health and happiness. Till next time, take care, bye-bye, and God bless.